Right, hello everyone. It's Saturday the 17th of October and I just wanted to start off this segment of the video discussing a few issues I have found now with my system and with my just generally keeping the koi. Two problems I've found is the flow in my pond, so I'm getting a build-up of sediment at the bottom centre of the pond. So what I've done recently, which I have got footage of, which I'll overlay, which I'll add in to this video, is I've turned the bottom part of my shower into an K1 moving bed. It is working fantastic, quite a good addition actually. Hopefully the idea pays off. But I just want to be able to feed the fish more, to be honest. Just hoping it gives me that little bit more turnover where I can chuck more food in. But the problem I found is with my air pump, it's a Superfish Koi Flow 60, where I ran that straight to the moving bed. It was more than enough. It was probably the right amount for the actual turnover for the media. But the problem I found was I couldn't then run an air stone in my pond. I could, but there wasn't really much strength to the actual air stone. And where I wasn't running the air stone in the pond, that was the main thing keeping the sediment off the bottom. So obviously where it was pushing up, it was distributing all the crap really that just was all the poo just building up on the bottom. So obviously I have some sort of issue with flow in this pond. I mean, there is good flow, but obviously it's not circulating the bottom enough. So what I did trial for about 3-4 hours a day was where I've got the valve, which I left in the side. I put some pipe going down with an elbow, opened it up a bit to alleviate, to put some flow on the bottom. It was working, but then all it was doing was pushing all the crap to one corner, and then I couldn't really get the flow right between my easy pod and the shower, because obviously it's all ran off one pump. So I don't know if I'm going to have to add an additional second pump to help with the circulation of the water, which is probably the only way I can see of dealing with it, or a second air pump, so I can run one on the filter and one for the actual pond. So as you can see at the minute, I've got the air stone running in here just to distribute some of that rubbish. Okay, I'm always after food. But yeah, and the second issue, which is one I'm really worried about, is the belly of my koi. So where I'm indoors, there is no natural sunlight in here at all. The only light I've got is with the addition of the LED light which I installed on the ceiling. I mean the light that was already in the garage, which does nothing, and to be honest I don't really think the LED light's done a lot. So I've got 3 Kahaku in here. Old Mr. Loveheart, his belly is still strong, but in all fairness that LED light got installed not long after I got him, so I don't know if that's sustaining his belly or if over time his will begin to fade as well. But in my 2 bigger Kahaku, you can really see that the belly is it is going. It's definitely going. So I'm gonna have to see if I can try and save it with some form of colour food. I've been leaning towards getting Saki Akari colour because I was really happy with their growth. But just to keep things realistic and affordable and getting more for your money, I was leaning a lot more towards the JPD stuff. So if anyone has used JPD with colour, I'd be grateful if you could share your results with me, or Saki Akari as well, to be honest. And if anyone on there keeps koi indoors with no light and manages to save the belly on their fish, because if it comes to it, there's just no point keeping koi in here belly related, to be honest. I mean, Sumi's not an issue, the white's not an issue. Obviously, things like Chagoi and Karishigoi and that, yeah, fair enough, I can keep them in here because they just get big. But I mean, I suppose a pond full of Shira at Suri wouldn't be too bad, but I do like my Kohakus and my Showas, which is why I've kind of pumped the brakes a bit on adding any more Kohaku or Showa, because I did have some lined up, but we've held off on them. We've held off on them for the minute, just for the simple fact of what's the point in getting something that probably is going to get ruined, to be honest. So yeah, those are some minor issues I've come up with. But what I was finding in recent videos where I was talking about my water clouding, I think it's the simple fact of the fish waste sitting in the bottom of the pond and it's distorting the water. I mean, the water quality is still fine. My nitrite is still sitting at 0. Ammonia is at 0. Nitrate is where it should be. The pH has been consistent along with KH and GH, which I need to get more into, to be fair, which is something I'm going to start experimenting with through the winter. But yeah, guys, I mean, I suppose I need to do a bit more of an in-depth look around of the ponds and explain how the flow is working and how the filters are working, and go from there, really, because I think I just need a bit of guidance and a bit of advice off other people, really. I don't want to go out there and start spending money on all these pumps and stuff if there's a simpler solution. If that makes sense. I think it does. But hold on 2 secs, they chew a bit of food. But yeah, they're the fish are still doing very well. I mean, being indoors here, I'm still sitting at just shy of 16. And I mean, outdoor temperature today was 9 where I am. And I mean, for this to stay at 16, that's pretty bob on, to be fair. So I think I'll be stupid if I don't heat this pond. But I don't know if water cooling down has anything to do with the cloudiness and such. I don't think it does. I don't know if the bacteria is slowing down with the water cooling. Because to be fair, I mean, 16 degrees ain't bad for feeding temperature. And as you can see, they're still going absolutely nuts for it. But yeah, guys, we'll see how we get on in this segment. I mean, I've kind of held back on getting koi because I want to get these problems sorted, and sometimes you just got to invest your money in making sure your system's right and everything's working properly, and then you don't want to be chucking in loads more fish and then it all starts going tits up. Yeah, that's all I've got really as an introduction to this segment, but yeah, like I say, I have got more footage of what I did to the shower. I need to add another picture because I did do a recent change to it because my second strainer hasn't turned up yet for some reason. So I've literally just had to put in a sheet of chat mat in just before the returns so I could keep the flow and stop the K1 from falling out, but it's still working a treat. Hopefully that starts maturing over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously with the temperatures dropping, I don't know if it's going to hold it back or not, but yeah, guys, we're all singing, all dancing in a minute. And like I say, I'm going to add some more footage to this video and we'll go from there, guys. So I did a little underwater footage of the fish and the pond then, just to try and highlight the amount of waste and the belly issues of the fish. I mean, you could see a lot of waste is floating around in the actual pond. I don't know why, really. I mean, obviously the fish are constantly producing waste because I am still feeding, not a lot really, maybe about 80, 120 grams a day, something like that I think, maybe a bit less. But I mean, I don't really accurately measure it, but I'd say that's roughly about what they're getting. But the amount of waste that's floating around, I think it is quite worrying really. It should be all finding its way to the pump. I mean, I had a lot more fish in here at one point, a lot more fish, and I never really had a build up of waste like that on the bottom of the pond, to be honest. Obviously, since I've returned home, I've moved things around. So the shower used to be there in the corner, and it was a fall through, so no weir, just fell straight at the bottom, and the pump was actually underneath the shower. But a lot of the waste did find its way to the pump, and the pump's in the same place. But when I moved that shower, I relocated the pump to the centre of the pond, and that was collecting a lot more of the waste, to be honest. But I mean, the aesthetic side of things, the pump being in the centre, wasn't that huge of a fan, really. Yeah, maybe it's more efficient, but I mean, it's just one of those. But I mean, on a side note, something that it could just be as simple as the fact as the pump is up on its side and not flat on the bottom. So that could be another reason. I'm hoping it's just a silly little thing I've done that could help improve it, rather than I have to start dipping in my pockets and get it right. I mean, if I have to, I have to, but like I say, I do want to start investing in a few more fish, but obviously I want to get these problems sorted and whatnot, and get that all nipped before we start chucking any more coin. But yeah, like I say guys, on the next, in this video I'm going to overlay what I did with the shower. Like I say, it's working a treat. But yeah, hopefully we can get this problem nipped in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully with you guys giving me a few ideas. So just on another note, I know I look a bit rough at the minute. I've got a bit feral. When I get time off work, I don't really shave or nothing, because I have to shave every day and it gets a bit exhausting, so I've given my face a bit of a rest. But yeah guys. Right, so I've just done a little check on the old nitrite. Sorry, wrong chart. And I think it's safe to say it's still on 0, which I'm happy with. So it goes to show the filters are doing the graft. Everything is working. It's just the consistent cloudiness that keeps appearing. Obviously it must be a build up of the fish waste in the pond, and it hasn't found its way to the filters yet. But yeah, it's kind of starting to stump me a bit, to be honest. Don't really know what's going on. But this is the only thing I've been really concerned with over the last over the last previous weeks. But like I say, yeah, it's odd. I don't really know what's happening. I mean, unless I'm having some form of bacterial bloom, or I don't know. But I haven't introduced any additional bacteria. I haven't done anything different, to be honest, apart from the addition of the moving bed. I don't really. But obviously, I was having this problem before I put that in. But I'm hoping that might help. It's just with clearing the water and whatnot. But yeah, it's stumped with this one. Right guys, so just while I'm stripping out this shower, you can see what this filter floss does. I mean, that is literally that's about 48 hours running, that is. Maybe a little bit longer. And it's amazing how much crap this stuff takes out. Absolutely amazing. The way I've set it up, I think it's worked out a lot better this time, and actually took out a lot of the crap rather than falling through. So I folded it up on the sides. So not a lot of the dirt, most of the dirt shouldn't be getting through. But I'm gonna have to change that when I get this shower back up and running. But yeah guys, I thought I'd show you what a bit of filter floss can do to your system, and amazing how much crap it can actually take out. This is the second stage. As you can see, this is what I wasn't doing last time. I suppose I probably still didn't give it that good of a clean, but it was a lot worse than what it was. But the Alpha Grog, yeah, it's pretty clean. I mean, that's a lot of Alpha Grog in there. I couldn't even tell you how much on the top of my head, but it's doing the job pretty well at the minute. But that's all the second stages. Alright guys, so this is the bottom chamber. It's just full of jack metal, so I just took one off. I'll try to avoid. Just show you this bit here. This Alpha Grog, it's breaking up a lot. So I might have to think of something when it comes to this moving bed. But, well, I've got most of the big pieces sat in there now in water. But what I might do in an effort is pick out all the small pieces from here. It'll be a lot of effort, but I think that's the way forward with that one, to be honest. But yeah, we'll go from there, guys. That's the bottom tier anyway. It's just all jack matting. And to be fair, this bottom tier is pretty clean, apart from obviously the bits of stain. But yeah, guys. Right, everyone. So this is where I'm at the minute. Like I said, all I've done is I've drilled some holes in the back to feed the airline through. 2 pretty cheap air stones. I went for these longer ones. One because they are cheap, the fish tank ones, and I want to try and get the length on the actual moving bed. I have test ran this and it does run, but it's not flooding. I had one of these strainers, I thought I had 2 of them. But all I've done is I've cut it down to size and flipped the bit I've cut in upside down and pushed it in. So no K1 will fall in there. And just for the time being, until I get another strainer, I'll just put some netting over this pipe. But it does let water through. And yeah, but I mean, I'll flick this on. I think I'm getting pretty good air movement in there. And I think the moving bed will be pretty good. And when it's running, the water level does sit around here. So I'm still going to get a fair bit of water in. And hopefully this all pays off. But yeah guys, I'm going to chuck some K1 in now and see how it looks. Right guys, so that's the K1 in now. Right, so that's the K1 in. Obviously it's not going to do a lot yet until it starts maturing so it can churn properly. Hopefully I've got enough airflow in there. I mean it's a 60 litre air pump that's pushing into it, so it is a lot of air. But hopefully I can come back to this in a week or 2 and it should all starting to be churning. But yeah guys, I mean like I say, it's pretty simple. All it was a bit of pipe, 90-90, that's just pipe with a net over, that's a strainer. Drilled a couple of holes in the back for the airline to get through, feed the air stones. Media in. And we're going to go from there. See how we get on with this, whether it's going to be a good idea or not.